3, 2, 1. All right, guys. Hello everywhere. Welcome back to Unpack Your Bag Podcast. I'm your host, Tony Perks, and we have my co-host, Chantal Dizzle. I had to give you a nickname every time.
I don't really like
Chantal
that either.
Dizzle, Chantal Izzle.
Until further notice, we just gonna go with Chantal.
Chantal.
Because no, not
let's
Chantal.
do a little
Chantal.
fancy Chantal.
No, Chantal. We don't need no extra. I don't need to be fancy today. I just need to be me.
Okay. Are you fancy?
Nah.
At all?
I'm just regular.
You ain't fancy?
No, I'm just regular.
Okay.
I mean that.
Okay,
I'm just regular.
I believe that when I see
just a little regular job.
Oh my gosh, bro.
Regular,
oh my gosh.
Just a little regular stuff.
Whatever. All right, I want to get right into this podcast because it's a really good episode that we're going to talk about. And let me tell you guys what we're going to talk about today. You don't know what we're going to talk about, Chantal? Because this is going to be off the top again. Psych.
I
actually have a thing I want to talk about. And so the first topic, 2 topics today. Can men and women just be friends? Okay, that's number 1. Okay. And the other thing we're going to talk about is why women ghost men and why men ghost women.
So is ghosting a bad thing?
Nah. I didn't say it was a negative. We're just going to describe the reasons why.
I just want clarity. I just want to know.
Yes. Okay, so we're going to talk about that today. But let's go ahead into can men and women just be friends? What do you think? I'm going to let you go first.
I think yes, men and women can just be friends.
Okay.
And the reason why I think that is because when you really get down to the difference between a relationship with your husband, spouse, boyfriend, girlfriend, and the relationship with your best friend, the line is very simple.
Okay.
Right? The difference in the line is that one relationship is platonic, the other one is not.
Right. Okay.
Right? One relationship, there's no physical attraction, there's no touchy feel. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
That line.
Okay.
Right? So if you have that line established, it doesn't matter who your friend is.
Okay.
That's what.
Does it?
That's it. It's simple. It's simple.
Okay, I agree, but okay, let's bring it a little farther. Can 2 single people, men and women, just be friends?
Yeah, because that's like saying just because you're single doesn't mean anything. Like there are certain people that you meet that you're not attracted to. Mm-hmm. Period.
Okay.
I'm not physically attracted to you. I don't care if I'm single. I don't care if you're single. I don't want you touching me. However, you are a great person and I love kicking it with you. And I could tell you all of my secrets or whatever it is. But yeah. So the question really is can attraction grow the more you get to know somebody? That's really the question. Which
I think it can. But I think it's hard for men and women to be friends because usually, I don't say usually. Sometimes I see that one person likes the other person, and the other person doesn't like them. And so I've seen this a lot, where it's women or there's where I've seen women like the man, and the man doesn't like them like that. But she thinks that over time she's going to change his mind. And I've seen that same way where there's men that like women,
right,
and will be friends with this woman for years, waiting for the opportunity.
It's true.
To just wait, you know. So for me, it's like if you're a guy meeting a girl, are you just going to talk to her just because you're just trying to be friends, or is there some MO behind it at the first jump?
Not,
depending.
Men need friends too.
Yeah, but men have men friends.
Fat bitches need love too.
No, but like men have men friends for that reason.
What? Okay, but
so then if you're going out to meet a friend like a girl,
you can't control who you like. The same way we talked about this, you can't necessarily control who you fall in love with, right?
You can suppress the feelings.
You can suppress the feelings, right?
Okay.
But like whether or not you're like, dang, I really like this person, right? You can't control that aspect of it. However, what you do control,
there's chemistry, okay.
But you do control physical attraction,
okay,
right? You do control physical attraction.
So you're saying that if somebody walked in that you like physically were attracted to, I'm not physically attracted to you now. That's what you're saying.
No, I'm saying like
I'm just not attracted to you right now. Like,
okay, maybe I shouldn't say that. What I should say is you control the outcome of that physical attraction.
Yeah, you control what you do with it.
Okay. So just like we expect everybody to be in control of themselves at all times.
Okay.
Why is that not the same for friendships?
I just think that I'm not saying that it can. I'm saying it's a possibility, but someone's going to suffer. Because
Okay.
because
And in that
because
instance-
eventually one person's feelings will override and be like, either one person's gonna be like, I've been waiting for you to be in a relationship for 3-4 years, and now
in that instance, do they stick around? No.
After they figure out that it's not gonna happen, then no. But was that really a friendship?
But then it's like, it probably was really a friendship, but just because they didn't stick around doesn't mean the friendship was less valuable. It just means a reason, a season, and a lifetime.
Or were they only being friends for that reason?
No.
So if that's the case,
here's the thing: relationships come together for multiple reasons. Relationships stay together for multiple reasons, right?
Right. Okay.
People become friends for multiple reasons. The reason why you become friends in a season may not be the reason why you stay friends in another season. You understand what I'm saying? Like, the shit changes because we change, so the relationship obviously is going to change. In the instance where the two are friends and the relationship changes to the point where another person has feelings for the other person, then what the question is how solid was your friendship, right? Because if it's super solid, you could just be like, yo, I need to take a beat because what I'm feeling is not friendly. You know what I'm saying?
Okay,
like it's a little bit too friendly or whatever.
Okay,
you know?
but then are you really going to suppress those feelings because you really like somebody? Well, I'm going to not talk because I'm feeling like I'm really starting to like you, so I don't want to talk to you right now until I get that control.
Do you know
what you're saying?
That most of life is suppressing feelings? Like, think about that for a second. Most of life is suppressing feelings, right? There are people who say stuff that you want to punch in your face. Do you punch them in your face? No, you suppress the feeling, right? Like, most of life is suppressing feelings.
Those are consequences that you don't want to do. If you punch them in the face, then you got jail time. I mean, if there was no,
but that's what I'm saying. Like, regardless of the consequences afterward, we still live in a society where we have to suppress our feelings. To some degree. That's just facts. People have to suppress their feelings.
Okay.
We don't just get to go around doing everything we want to do because it feels good.
Okay.
Right?
Okay. I can agree with that.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I only want to drink soda because it feels good. I can't do that.
You mean, you can, but you'll have problems.
That's what I'm
saying.
You can,
but you have problems.
That's what I'm saying. Regardless of the consequences. You're talking about consequences right now. I'm not talking about consequences. I'm talking about the feeling. People have to suppress their feelings, period.
Okay. So you're saying that if there's a guy and a girl, one like more than the other one wanted to be friends, the other one wanted a relationship, that the person can just suppress their feelings and just stay friends for the rest of their lives?
Yeah. I don't think it'll happen but they could.
I mean, yeah, it's possible, but I highly doubt that. Who's gonna stay?
It depends on the friendship. Like, if you came and became friends on an equal level and it was literally no extra stuff to it, like we're literally just friends, you know what I mean? And that is the season that we're in, that we meet, boy, girl, no extra feelings, we are just friends. Now, if time progresses and in a different season, meaning years down the line, when somebody develops feelings for the other, you have to examine what that friendship was. Is this a person that I want to walk out of my life? Is this a person that I want to be in a relationship with? Is this you understand what I'm saying? You have to examine and deal with those things as it comes. If it comes to a situation where you're like, this is just my friend, I don't feel that, I don't want to be in a relationship with this person, then you go back and you have that conversation.
But I don't want to lose your friendship. Has there been times where people haven't told the other person, like, well, I'm not really feeling you, because they don't want to lose a friendship because they know that person really likes them deep down, but if you tell them you don't like them, they're probably not going to stick around?
It depends on the friendship.
Has that happened? Have you noticed anybody, like, has that happened where, like,
it does happen?
I don't think that's right to do. Because I think that's how assholes are created. Someone's been waiting to be in a relationship. They tell you how you feel. You never tell them no, that there's no chance you don't like them. But then you lead them on just because you want that friend to stay there, even knowing they have intentions for this.
It's fucked up.
I think that's really fucked up to do.
It's fucked up.
And I think that's what creates assholes in both men and women. When men do that to women, that's why women get angry and then just want to turn off and be like, man, fuck that.
So then what's the thing? Shouldn't men and women shouldn't be friends?
No, I think it should just be very open and honest communication about it. I don't think that you should be hiding the fact that if you don't like somebody, just be upfront and tell them.
But
just tell them, like, hey, I just don't feel the same way.
That ain't the question. The question is, can men and women be friends? Yes or no?
I think only if people are in relationships, then yes. I don't think single people can be that. Unless it's very two mature people.
Because
sometimes
people in relationships don't cheat. Like, what the fuck?
No, I'm just saying, like, there's definitely boundaries that are, like, solid. Both people know.
There's boundaries either way.
But some people don't want to say those boundaries. With the relationship, there's two boundaries that are both known that should never be crossed because it's already apparent.
So you're saying that it's an apparent boundary?
Yes, it's right up in your face. I'm in a relationship, you're in a relationship, or one of us in a relationship. That's it. You would know.
It's boundaries either way.
But when it's two friends and it's like, well, even if they like me, I don't have to tell them they don't like me. Why? There's never. That's why I see it happen so many times.
Name some.
I can't name anybody because of the podcast reasons.
Yeah,
you know, I'm not going to name anybody. But I've seen on both sides, men on sides where women like men, and then he was like, I'm just not going to tell them anything because he like maybe it's the ego boost. Maybe it's the ego boost. I don't know.
But here's the thing, though. Here's what changes all of this.
Okay.
Because especially in our age group, I see this a lot with our generation. Is even though they say friends, they're doing extra friendly things.
Yeah.
Right.
For what reason?
They fucking right. It doesn't matter the reason. We're not going to talk about.
Oh no! I thought you missed it. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, we're not going to talk about their intentions because I can't speak to that. But what I can say is that I see more often in the generation we live in where people will be like, "That's my friend," right?
Who I fuck.
Yeah, but that I'm fucking, right? So then it's like, well,
isn't that kind of to some degree, can it be confusing?
Like absolutely. Do your thing. But that's why we're having this conversation, because you're saying, can men and women be friends? I'm saying men and women have been being friends, right?
I mean,
but what did the parameters of their friendships look
platonic
like?
Friendship. No sex involved, no nothing. Just, which, I take back what I'm saying. I think, no. Listen, I think it is possible if people are mature and can actually communicate. It's possible. It's possible.
Anything is possible.
Likely?
People are mature and communicate.
Is it likely? Highly not. Majority of the time, more than likely not. Someone's not going to want to hurt the other person, or someone's not going to want to lose that friendship in the sense of telling somebody they don't like them.
Single people, right, cannot have just friends, cannot be just friends with opposite sex.
Most of the time, no.
People in relationships, married, whatever, can be friends with a person of the opposite sex. That's what you're saying. It's possible.
It's more. I feel like it's more. Damn.
That shit sounds great. That don't make sense. Because if I'm single, at first, I could be friends with whoever I want to, whenever I want to, regardless of anything you're talking about. Right? Mm-hmm. If anything, the person in the relationship should be more mindful of how that friendship
is going.
No. Not how that friendship is going, but how that friendship affects their spouse or their significant other. Mm-hmm. That's really what I think that this is about, right? Okay. Can men and women be just friends? Absolutely. I think the answer to that question is absolutely. The question is what does that friendship bring about in other people, especially if you're in a relationship. If you're in a relationship, does that friendship bring out an insecurity or whatever in your spouse? And then if it does, whose job is it to get over it? Is it your job to be like, all right, I can't be friends with this person because I know the way it makes my significant other feel? Or is it your significant other's job to be like, man, I need to stop being insecure and handle my business? Like, that's the question.
I can see that.
So whose job is it?
I don't know. I think it depends on how the relationship is with the person who has in that relationship outside of the friendship. Is there like one? What's your track record? Have you cheated before? Have you not? Number one. Number two. Then it's like, how close are you with the person, and how much do you dive in with your personal lives of each other? You know, because sometimes that can open up a door potentially. Admitting too much stuff, not to your partner, but to another woman or a man who's not in a relationship. Mm-hmm. Can be detrimental, because now it's like you're leaning more on that person than you are on your spouse.
Detrimental to whom? The marriage?
To your relationship.
Detrimental to the relationship.
Because now it could be like, well, you're leaning more on that friend than you are on your actual mate.
But so much of the things that we're talking about is seasonal. So much of the stuff that we're talking about is seasonal. It depends on the time. You understand what I'm saying? Like, you have certain people who are going to serve you in a specific season in your life. Okay. And after that season passes, they may not serve you in that same way. Therefore, the parameters of that friendship change.
Will be different.
Right?
I can understand.
Yeah. Okay. Right? So it's the same thing. Just like a couple in a relationship, the parameters of that relationship, do you understand what I'm saying, may change. So I really think,
because it could be more where maybe someone was insecure at first and then they got over that insecurity and now it's not a problem anymore. It's
seasonal, right? Especially when you're talking about something as long term as a marriage, right? It's seasonal.
Okay. It's
seasonal. So the friendship that you had prior, the friendship that you've been rocking with since, it's gonna change. And very rarely are you going to find a friend that's going to stick with you, period, through multiple seasons. through your entire life. Right?
Okay.
That will stick with you the same way. Like that's rare. That's not something that's not something that we're gonna have, right? Like there are moments in your life where it's moments in my life where I got hella people, I got hella friends, right? And there's moments in my life where I don't. Do you understand what I'm saying? That's going to fluctuate. You know what I'm saying? So
no, keep talking.
Yes, men and women can be friends.
Yeah, I got you. I you know, at first I was like, no. Hearing your points, valid. I mean. I'll give you that.
This is typically how it happens. I say something, and then Anthony's like, you know what, you right.
That's not typically how it happens. I'm just saying I'm open enough to say,
you know what,
all right, that makes sense. Doesn't mean you're right. I'm just saying.
We should keep score.
We should keep score.
Of how many times I'm right.
Oh, really? Okay. I would love to keep score because you know me, I'm a win. Don't trip. Okay, well, let's go on to the next topic then, because now, since men and women can be friends, and maybe, but I guess maybe it's more unlikely than not. Mm-hmm. Maybe that's more what it is. It's maybe there are barriers around that.
Right.
Maybe that's more. Maybe that's more what it is. It's not that it can't happen. It's just more. There is barriers around that are more likely. Maybe it won't happen because the maturities of people, age, you know.
Your real ass niggas, you know what I mean? And granted, like I said, this is going to change, but your real ass niggas that stick with you, there's barriers to that friendship as well.
Okay, so what if you're dating somebody, you guys end up being real long-term relationship, good, like, you know, like going to marriage or at this point
thinking about it, whatever.
Right? It's very serious, but your mate has a friend who is a best friend who's a girl. How would you feel about a relationship of like with your partner with another woman? Would that be an issue?
It depends.
Because like, what if they've been best friends for like years and they've been like...
My first thing is like, no, it's not an issue, right?
Okay.
And I'm saying no, it's not an issue if my mate takes the time to explain to me how that friendship developed, right? And why they became friends and why they're still friends, right? And then if he explains to me like, this is the person who's only ever had my back.
What if they were dating before and then they end up being best friends after that?
That's something else, right? That's something.
What if they realize we're just better off as friends, and now we're just friends, and that's it? So then we've been friends for 5-10 years now.
In that instance, I got hella questions, and if he answers all hella my questions, right? Like hella questions.
Ooh, because that's gonna be something you always got to think about.
When you were together, did y'all do this? Did y'all do this? Did y'all do this?
We had different like life goals that were just completely different.
I need to know. Was it mutual? Did she decide, hey, I don't want to be with you? Did you decide, hey, I don't want to be with you? You know what I'm saying? Like hella questions.
How was the relationship? Was it toxic? Was it crazy?
Yes,
y'all just realized?
Hella questions. Did y'all have fun? Did you meet her mama when y'all was in a relationship? Was there an engagement party?
Meet your mama.
Did she meet your daddy? Like, I just need to know. I got hella questions in that instance.
Okay, I understand.
Let me just say this part, okay?
This is my wife, everybody. She's not on camera, but this is my wife.
Because let me know that you over here having sex with her, and then she walk her ass through the door. You still have an emotional attachment.
Hella questions.
Hell no.
Hella questions.
Hell no.
But
cut that damn relationship off.
Hold on.
We can see her ass in passing.
No. Another question. What if they were friends for a long time, got into a split-second relationship that didn't work out,
like a one-night stand, like a one-night stand of each other after knowing each other for years?
Once
like, well, that
you
was
have
terrible.
Sex with that person, you have soul ties, emotional attachments. Hell to the no. I can see if you kiss that person, that's fine. Okay, you may have slipped up, got drunk, kiss a person, but to full on get butt naked with somebody.
What if it wasn't sex but almost sex? Everything was before sex. Fool around in the bed, but no sex. It's like nothing happened. It wasn't like that.
No.
We never kissed.
I'm not as strict
all that
on
stuff.
The sexing as Michaela is. Like I said, I got hella questions, and depending on the answer to these questions, will determine my level of comfort with this relationship. If dude is like, nah, man, I said blah blah blah, and you just gotta trust me, that shit ain't gonna fly.
Yeah, hell no, fuck that.
What if? Okay, I'll leave it at that.
Yeah, don't what if nothing.
No, because I was gonna throw an extra spin, but I was just like,
no, don't what if nothing. Your friends, if I don't know that person, you don't need to know that person.
What?
Even if they like, especially because we're talking about a person that they knew prior to you.
Yeah, so it's like, you're stepping into like that relationship essentially, and it's like, are you right to be like, no, you can't be friends with them, even though,
especially prior to him knowing you, prior to it
wasn't like you guys got together then the friends.
I don't really think you can trip on that. You can't trip on it in the sense like, nah, nigga, I don't trust you, blah blah blah. But again, Hella questions.
What if the relationship happens after you guys are together? Like the friendship, not like they had sex with anybody, but like they had ended up meeting this girl, really cool, or a guy, really cool.
While we're in a serious phase of our relationship,
we're in a real serious relationship, but then they meet this person, and it's platonic, and he's telling you it's platonic. There's nothing like that. You gotta trust me, I break you down and say, look, this is nothing. This is business. We just have good chemistry. Do this, that.
Hella questions. Your wife, your spouse, your significant other has the right to talk to you about things that make them feel uncomfortable.
For sure.
And you have to understand that as the person, the way that you handle these questions, the way that you deal with this situation is going to determine her level of trust in you about this relationship. So
yes and no. Yes and no.
Straight up. Because if you brush it off, it's nothing, her or whoever it is still going to have questions
but what if you
weren't solved and answered. She's still gonna be feeling
but that's not the case. What if that person's insecure and there's nothing and you answer the questions, but the person still is insecurities. Maybe they've been cheated on in the past, so now it's like, all right,
so then that's true.
So it's like then it's not on the person anymore.
As your significant other, whose responsibility is it to help them deal with their own problems? They ultimately have to deal with their own problems.
Right.
We are all responsible for our own shit.
Warranted.
Let me say that again. We are all responsible for our own shit.
Warranted.
Nobody's going to come in and solve your shit for you. I don't care how much y'all in love, right?
Right.
We're all responsible for our own shit. However, even though we're all responsible for our own shit, if you're dealing with somebody, especially if you're married to somebody, relationships, you could break up with a nigga in a minute, right? Like ghost them and be like, all right, I'm done.
Getting divorced is a lot harder than for sure. Yeah.
Especially if you're married, then I think that you have a responsibility to your significant other to make sure that they're in the best position to deal with their shit.
Gotcha.
They have to deal with it, but you still connected to it.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, I mean, handling they shit accordingly.
But I do know someone who
handling they shit accordingly.
But I do know someone who had a cool.
I do know someone
who had a coworker. They was just friends. The person was married. They had a coworker. They were just friends. All of a sudden, that person's spouse dies. Boom, dies. Now the coworker come around. Hey, girl. I know you've been through some stuff. Did that person this whole time have feelings and never said anything?
Maybe.
It could be a possibility. That's not guaranteed, but it could be a possibility.
Maybe.
It's not a guarantee. It could be. Maybe it was like, I just never thought about it, but now like no one's, now that you're open on the market. Oh, hey.
And grief is something different.
I don't know.
And grief is something different. You don't know the way that grief is going to hit somebody.
That's true.
People have been sad out of their mind and done questionable things.
Yeah, during grief, even anger. Yes, that's true.
Like
when those emotional states happen,
extreme emotional states
happen will make you do stuff that you would never think to do in a million years. Like you're not even in like the clearest moment.
Yeah.
That's why being angry and doing something and you think like, what the fuck was I talking about? You gotta think later when you rational like, oh shit, I was kind of tripping.
I think
But now that person is married to her coworker.
Well, now you're married. Now that's it.
It worked out, but
it's not like it's bad. It's just there's times where like you may not even know you have something for that person until that day happens. You know, maybe that could be it, or maybe you've been really eyeing them like, I'm gonna be friend zoning this until and then hopefully she's been telling me about this.
This is what I can say.
We're waiting, but lurking.
Niggas will wait
and lurk in the bush.
Niggas will wait
for
their downfall. For that one time,
let them wait. Like what you're saying is not like.
Let them wait.
Again, I've never been married. Okay, I've never been married.
Okay.
However, you guys are saying this stuff like it's like some sort of like ultra terrible taboo, right?
No, I'm not saying it's bad. I'm not saying it's bad.
When the truth is like, niggas is individuals.
All I'm saying is like people are waiting on the side for you to get in a fucked up situation to take advantage of that to fuck up your relationship.
What does that have? That's fine. What does him have to do with me? Nothing. Him waiting in the bushes or whatever analogy you use.
Okay, because
something doesn't have anything to do with me.
Okay, but
and my actions and the way I feel.
Okay, but
that's him in the bushes. I wasn't in the bushes with the nigga.
Yeah, because that.
So now everybody's looking at me different because he was in the bushes.
No, because no, because if you get into that emotional state where then it's like, oh, there's a shoulder to cry on, and your mate's not doing this, then it's like, okay, and he waited, and then it fucked up your relationship, and you were like, I was in emotional stuff. That's what I'm saying. Like, I'm sure it does. I'm not saying it doesn't. You know, I'm just saying like
it's probably mutual to both sexes. However, I'm not. I'm
not saying it doesn't happen to both. I hear about it more with guys. Guys will be waiting. Guys will be waiting. I don't know the girl side. I don't know. I'm only speaking for the guy side. I don't know about the girl side.
Females do that too.
How long though? Were they willing to wait? For years? I know guys are waiting years, just waiting for that one time where the girl's like, oh, you did so bad. This is so mean. I just need somebody. He's like, I'm here for you, baby. You're waiting for them. And then next thing you know, they have sex, and now your shit's fucked up.
Yo, straight up. Females do that too. I don't know about the whole waiting in bushes thing, but like, I mean, not waiting, but you know what I mean? Yeah. I don't know. I don't know. Look, I think their weight is a little bit more, aesthetically pleasing. I'll say God. That. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
what
for
they're
sure.
Doing right while they're waiting is going to be
because women in society are supposed to be chased. They're supposed to be pursued. So the men have to do that.
Not when she in that thirsty. Sense, not when she want it.
Okay.
And I'm gonna say she like women when she want it, right? And she want is there's a certain nigga or a dude that's like, I want it. Mm-hmm. She not in the chase role. She's in the look at me, I can do this role.
But she's still not going to be like, hey, you want to come over and, you know? Does that actually happen as often?
I mean,
men are more like... The thing is, like a lot of women go out and you don't have to do nothing. You just sit there. Someone's gonna buy you a drink. Somebody will come and take. It happens. But it's way more often that will happen to a woman. If I go out, even if I look great, I go out to a bar. And this one's gonna buy me. A woman's like, "Hey, want to get you a drink?" Hell no! I still gotta go out my way. I still gotta go face rejection. It's not like you guys are going out there and then
we're talking about two different situations here. In the situation that a man is in a relationship and a woman is waiting for the nigga to not be in a relationship because she like him, the way that she's going to wait is going to be different. She's not going to be in like, I'm gonna sit back and play my position type thing, right? Mm-hmm. What she's going to do is she's gonna put her titties out, put them up, put the tight clothes on, do a little shimmy, start cooking shit, start cleaning shit, all obnoxiously, all in front of everybody. You know what I'm saying? Like that's how women work. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm gonna go to your house and cook breakfast. And you know what men will do? Men will sit there and be like, hey, what's up, you good? And every day check in, do what you need to do, and wait on the side. Wait. No, but here's the thing.
Wait, my nigga, wait.
Though. Let me tell you what men will do.
I mean, they're waiting like, ooh, like niggas will wait for years to be waiting for opportunity.
Let me tell you what men will do, right? In the situation that a man has a situation, a relationship or whatever, right? And a woman is doing all of this, like I said, like throwing it at him, cooking, tight clothes, titties out, all of that stuff. A man will sit there and take all of that attention, with a whole female in the next room, with a whole ass wife in the next room.
Okay, well, question.
Is that fucked up?
It is fucked up.
Is that fucked up?
Okay, but question.
Is that fucked up?
Is the man pursuing the wife and the wife saying no all the time? Or like, how is the dynamics between them?
That don't matter.
Because think about it. If a man was always
bringing up extras, that don't matter.
No, I'm just saying. Think about it. That don't matter. No, think about it.
And I think that women pursue men more often than
it's portrayed?
Yes, way more often.
I mean, I'm not a woman, so I don't know. I'm just saying what I've seen. And I just see in my personal, like, friends in general, and then also on TV and all the people, they tell me. So... I'm just saying. What you said, don't do media. But I'm saying in general, the society standard is women are the prize, or they get chased, or you have to go out there.
Okay, don't mistake societal values for Christian values, right? Okay. Because Christian values is that a woman is a prize and that she is supposed to be chased. These days, society doesn't necessarily view a woman in that way.
Really? I beg to differ. I highly beg to differ. I think that women's... Because...
Why?
What do you mean WAP?
There's some hoes in this house.
What do you mean?
There's some hoes in this house. I think that in the last 10 years there's been a shift from women being these creatures that are supposed to be wholesome. These creatures that
creatures. This is funny.
Let's call them creatures because I don't know who they are.
This is funny. These creatures? All right.
These creatures that are supposed to be wholesome, that don't like sex, that are domestic, and they like it. And I think that we're seeing a shift.
I mean, we're seeing
a shift in that narrative, I think, in the last 10 years. Meaning that in the last 10 years...
Like the slut walk and either the things are kind of crazy. It's like,
yes, like the things that women would be ashamed of. You know
now
what I mean?
like
the
regular.
walk of shame, right? You know what I mean? Like all of these things, right? That would typically put women in this box if they stepped outside of it, then they were considered hoes, right?
Okay.
I think in the last 10 years, women are doing something to kind of embrace that narrative a little bit more. You
I can agree with that, but I still think overwhelmingly it's still more on the lower end. I don't think it's highly to where like every woman is out there like it's just normal. You know, it's still very taboo. It's better, like as in like. It's not as shameful, but it's still more shameful than it's not. At least for what people are saying at this point.
I don't know. America,
because think about it, if a woman said they had a body count of like 15 dudes, that looks way different than a man saying I got a body count of 15.
Absolutely.
So that shame is still way there, way different.
Yes, there's still an unequal playing field, right? For sure. Patriarchy is still a thing,
right? Okay,
right. But I think that women have gone a long way to reclaiming that narrative, especially a sexual one.
Yeah, I can.
All y'all listening to the conversation, comment right now. What you think?
Damn, I forgot to do the damn subscribe thing in the beginning. I always
subscribe now.
Click in the middle of this video. Go ahead.
Just comment, subscribe right now. Don't even wait till it's over. Hit the subscribe button today.
And right now. And comment more than 5 words.
All right.
For the YouTube algorithm.
More than 5 words. This podcast was super, super dope. 2 supers.
And an amen.
And dope. 2 supers and a dope, people.
So I guess overall, maybe men and women can be friends. Platonically, and I will say I have only seen one of my friends who was friends with the girl. Nothing ever happened, and they were strictly friends. That was one time I've ever seen that.
I have a lot of male friends.
Okay.
I feel like I have quite a few male friends.
Okay.
You're into sports too.
I am into sports, but I feel like I have quite a few male friends.
Well, I had friends. I had like coworkers, for example.
And like the male friends that I have, I don't want to sleep with. So,
do they want to sleep with you? Maybe
I don't know. You'd have to ask them.
You gotta ask the coworker.
That's a good question. Because what if they're secretly like just plotting like?
Nah,
I'm waiting. To see. You know, never. The thing is, you never know. You just never know.
It's true. You never know.
You really never know.
Is fat meat greasy? All right.
What? I was like, wait. All right.
You're going to Google it after this podcast.
I sure am.
So coming up next, have you ever, Anthony Perkins, you ever ghosted someone?
Yes, I have. I have. When I was younger, yes.
Nah, man, like yesterday.
But as I got older, no. But I mean, when I was younger, like early 20s, yeah, I did it, and I was an asshole. I'm not gonna lie, it was fucked up.
So tell the story.
This girl, I liked this girl. She liked me. We were cool. No, we were cool. Like everything's good. Mm-hmm. We started to date a little bit. Mm-hmm. And then like one day, I was like in my head, I was just like, I just felt like she liked me more than I liked her.
Okay.
Like, but it was like overwhelmingly.
Okay.
I liked her, but she liked me a lot. Okay. And I don't know what it was. I was just like,
this is making me uncomfortable.
I was just like, I didn't know how to really express myself. I was still like 19, 20, and I was just like, never gonna talk to you again. And just literally like just never responded to a message ever again. Boom, like.
How long after that did she text you though? How long after you had made the decision to ghost her, right? And you never tell her, right? Like, I'm gonna ghost you.
But then like later, okay, so I ghosted her and she hit me up a couple of times and just never responded. And then like, I don't know, a year later, I don't know if I seen her or I think she messaged me or something and I felt bad. And then so I wrote her a message saying like, I'm sorry, this just happened. Like I just didn't know how to communicate, blah, blah, right? Then started talking again, dating again, and then I felt the same exact way. And then I was such an asshole, I did it again. And ghosted her again. I fucking ghosted her again.
She hates you.
Oh, I know. I know.
She hates you.
Oh, I know.
She
I
hates
know.
you. She hates you.
I know. It honestly, you. And I felt like
she's probably watching these podcasts, wishing us to, like waiting for us to fail. Like, fuck this thing. I don't care.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. No.
I ghosted you.
Huh?
Oh.
So my wife ghosted me before.
Let's do tell.
Okay. So we might as well unpack the whole thing. Okay. So
let it all out.
Which warranted, maybe this was like my universal karma coming back on me. Maybe that's what it was. You know? Shit, that's probably what it was. I don't know. But doesn't mean that you won't get that back. You know what I'm saying? Whatever. Anyways, so...
Karma's a bitch.
So, we started talking, me and her. Mm-hmm. And we took her... let me back up. I seen her at the store and I was like super nervous. Talked to her. We talked a couple times, interacting, and I was like, man, she's cool. Mm-hmm. She has a beautiful smile. Like, all right, yeah, she's super dope, but I cannot get rejected. So I can't ask.
Get rejected.
I cannot ask, because if I ask and she says no, it's gonna fucking hurt, right?
Okay.
So I waited for like 2 months. I would see her every other week at the store. Mm-hmm. I would say something, and I'm like, damn it, like this is the day I'm gonna walk in there, get her number. Mm-hmm. Then I would go in there and I would see her and be like, not today. And I'd go another checker. I would just run to another checker, go out, and then she would see me, but I would just never say nothing. So that happened like for maybe like a month and a half. Okay. And then one day I was like, I'm gonna do it. I don't give a fuck.
I'm gonna do it.
Today is a day.
You got this, bro.
You know what?
Go up in there. And so you the man.
I did. I told my homie. My homie lived with me. I was like, man, I'm gonna do it today. For weeks, I was like, I'm gonna do it today, and then I come
Today's
out. Nah, man.
Day.
So then the final day, I was like, all right, we go on her line. I'm like, yeah, I was like, yeah, talking with chit-chatting, laughing. She's giggling. I'm like, huh, what I'm saying? Feeling myself like, yeah, look at that beautiful smile, So I was like, all right, yeah, next time I come in, I'm gonna get your number. Mm-hmm. And I told myself in my head, like, if I don't necessarily ask her, but I just insinuated, even if she says no, mm-hmm. I didn't ask her for a number,
right?
So I'm not getting rejected.
The shit we tell ourselves that ain't true.
And if I say,
the
if she
shit
says
that we
yes,
tell ourselves that ain't true.
But if she says yes, then I'm golden. But if she's not, I can always say I didn't ask her. So she said yes, came back in the store like the next day, real quick, got the number.
So go ahead and write them digits down.
Right. First date, we go on, take her out. Boom, we chilling. Everything's going great. She hugs me goodbye. That's it. Mm-hmm. Second date, we go out to dinner, take her out, wine and dine. We kiss a little bit. Like, all right, cool. Mm-hmm. Third date, go out. We're like, all right, this is great. Mm-hmm. Good. It was good. Kissed, like a good kiss. And then the night was over. Mm-hmm. But I also I was like working out of town a lot, 1 week at a time. Okay. So then like she hit me up like a few days later. She's like, yeah, you want to go to the movies? Mm-hmm. And I was like, I can't, I'm working out of town, but we can reschedule. Mm-hmm. Then I just never heard from her again. Oh. It was like absolutely nothing. And like, but the thing was, everything was good. No, everything was good. But I just said, like, honestly, I worked out of town every week. I was like gone for Monday through Friday, and then I would come back, and then so that was for the thing for like 3 weeks. Those 3 dates happened, and then it was nothing. So I got ghosted, and then so fast forward like a year and a half, 2 years later, we meet again, all this stuff, and we start dating. We get into a relationship, and I'm asked like, so what happened? And she was like, well, yeah, I blocked you because like you was playing hard to get and stuff. And I was like, well, no, I actually had work. And then no, hold on, no. Wait, let me finish this part. Then she says, well, you didn't even reach out to call me or contact me. And then she told me that she blocked me. So even if I did try to reach out, there was no way possible for me to reach you because the message would have never came through. You would never got the call.
No, the message would have came through.
No, I blocked somebody and it doesn't show unless you unblock them.
I know. So like I would have unblocked you a couple months later to see like if the message if you tried to message me.
Did you unblock me, Michaela? Yes or no?
No, I never.
Exactly. So there you go. So she had the nerve to try to bring it back. You didn't reach out for me.
I block a lot of people.
She was on a blocking.
First, the reason why he got blocked is because he was trying to act brand new.
I wasn't.
And wasn't trying to text. That's people like attention. You wasn't trying to give out no attention. You was trying to play hard to get.
First of all, I asked you and took you out. How are you saying I asked you take you out on 3 days?
Every time.
No. Listen,
every time we
more
said
attention. You were going out for free. Going out for free, no paid for nothing, and I'm risking my rejection taking you out.
But like, okay, so
and then so what? Because I said no to one thing, and I said let's reconvene. You block me.
But here's the thing: I need you to consider this from a woman's perspective because
I'm not a woman, but I'll try.
It doesn't matter because every time we're on this podcast, you're like, "Well, let me tell you how a man thinks about this."
Okay,
let me tell you how a man thinks about.
Touche.
This,
I'll try. So
the way a woman thinks about this is going out to dinner and going on a date on a free date equals like changing your shoes. And I know that sounds fucked up. But it's not hard as a woman to get a free dinner date if you want it. Okay? Okay. So, it's not the dinner date that's going to separate you.
Okay. It's a conversation that we had. The fun time that we had.
It's my turn. I'm still talking.
Come on,
I'm just telling you what it is. Telling you what it is. Go ahead.
It's the follow-up. It's the text. It's
the
good
follow-up.
It's the good morning text messages.
Yes.
It's the like, oh, I had a great time with you. That's the shit that will make her be like,
oh my God. Did he do that?
That's the shit.
Did you do that?
I did not do that.
That's the shit. And I'm just telling you, did you make it home safely? Oh, I'm glad you made it home safely. I had a great time with you tonight. Blah, blah, blah. Oh, I had a great time too. Okay, what you got to do in the morning? Well, you know me, I'm just working.
Exactly.
And then the text conversation or the phone conversation. That's the extra shit. Because going on a date and getting free dinner equals...
is nothing to you guys. That's what you're saying. It's nothing for a man to go and ask you to go on a date.
I didn't say it was
also
nothing.
Pay for you.
I didn't say it was nothing.
You're saying it's just like changing shoes, like it's not a big deal. Is what
I'm saying is that's not what's going to separate you for a woman
from the pack.
That's not going to be what separates you.
So then why is that worth it to be blocked then for that?
No. There was times where I would text you and there was no response. So when you sitting here texting by no response, you like, oh, that
makes if
this is different. Okay,
it's like
maybe
you're
I
not
should
interested.
Okay, and I'm like, you know what?
Okay.
I'm not playing no games with nobody. Everybody getting blocked. You telemarketers, grannies, niggas, cousins, everybody.
So like as a girl, the biggest thing that I hate is like don't introduce me to a vibe that you can't maintain. So when we first started this, you was texting me every day. You was making sure I got in the house safely. You was texting me good morning, and then all of a sudden you stop. Nah, man, we're not playing that.
But what if it didn't get to that point? We were just regular communicating, just filling each other out.
We're not playing that. How do you fill people out?
By communicating, by going on dates, by saying how you feel. I don't call or text.
Okay,
but how can you call or text when you're blocked immediately?
It doesn't matter
because you denied one thing that you said was reconvened.
It doesn't matter. You just said that the way to communicating is to call or text. I'm telling you that the way to separate yourself as a dude, if you want this girl, is to hit her with the extra calls and texts. If you're not doing that, or if you're doing that sporadically, it makes us feel some type of way.
Okay, but I've seen men that do that, but you know what they get called? Clingy. Oh, you're doing too much. What happens to that when you're doing that for someone that you like, but they don't like you the same way, but they don't even tell you that they don't like you the same way? And what they do is just sit there and use you for free meals, free dates, free dinners. Then what?
So let me ask you a question.
Okay.
Do you want a hood rat? Right? What kind of woman do you want? Right? Because if a woman does that and calling you clingy and all that shit because you texting her, that's obviously not the type of chick you want. So you don't change who you are at your core for some...
Okay, for sure.
From some bald-headed girl.
Warranted.
You know what I'm saying?
Warranted.
You want a woman of power. You want, you know what I'm saying? You want somebody who's throwing it out.
But you also,
what you want?
But you also can feel the vibe if somebody's really feeling you or not. You can also tell if the Texas ain't, hitting back hard enough. So then when that happens, you be like, you know what? Cool. Thank you very much. Blocked.
Yes.
But I've been better with
okay, so I see. Yes. So it's pretty much the men have to do all the work.
We didn't say that. We're saying
what you're saying is don't hit him up. You need to call, you need to respond, you need to act there and chase me, then you need to pay for my dinners and you gotta swoon me up. That's what it sounds like.
No, I said
you're saying I don't gotta do shit but sit here. All I gotta do is sit here and wait for you to call me, you to reach out for me, and you to take me out. Where's the accountability for the other person to actually reach him? And if you like the person, why aren't you reaching out too?
It should be both ways.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. But it's like what you guys are saying right now is, well, no, you're not trying to stand out the pack yourself. That's what I'm saying.
But what I'm
saying, you like the person,
here's what I'm saying is that if you would have made those text messages, right? If you're communicating back and forth with a girl, you can tell if she likes you back. Because she's communicating with you. She's giving you the same energy.
But how do you know that if you're blocked?
What I'm saying is that
if you're blocked,
we're not talking about you and your wife no more.
I'm just saying in general. I'm saying this happens to a lot of men.
Michaela, you broke him. Like, fix him. Because we're not talking about that situation
I only blocked him twice.
Twice. Once while we're in a relationship. She blocked me because randomly.
We're not. So that's y'all thing. Maybe that's y'all love language. I don't know. But aside from that situation, what I'm saying is that if you take the time to do the things that I'm I'm saying to actually reach out, text message, and communicate. You can tell whether or not she likes you by the energy she's giving you back, and that's something that's palpable. You can feel that. So if you're doing these things and she's not giving you the energy back, bye. It goes both ways. But I understand that. But it takes both parties to step out of their comfort zone essentially and be like, all right, I'm going to engage here.
I understand that, but
and let's see where it goes.
I get what you're saying. I do. I get that, but I just still feel like there's definitely more one-sided. It's more for. It sounds like the men have to do majority of the work.
So what would you suggest?
What would I suggest?
What would you?
Is that the women? Hey, reach out too. It's not just on the guy to do everything for you.
Agreed. I just said communication goes both ways. So let that one go.
So at the end of the day, but it's like you're okay.
Long pause.
I'll give you that.
Communication goes both ways. After communication goes both ways, what are we talking about here? She should buy you dinner sometimes?
No. I'm not saying that. But you're saying is the men need to go out first, chase you, potential get rejected, then ask you out on a date, then pay for the date, then have to follow up with you. But it's like what is the woman going to do?
I didn't say any of that.
What is the woman supposed to do?
What I said was getting a free dinner is not as mind-blowing as you think it is. Okay? What's going to separate you is the follow-up, the extra communication things that you do.
But that's the thing. You're already doing something out for the women they don't even have to have. That's the point I'm making. You're already using your money. You're already using your money. Your hard-earned cash to pay for them.
You gonna listen? You gonna listen? So then maybe you should change your approach. Maybe your first approach shouldn't be to throw some money on a date. Maybe your first approach should be like, let me talk to her. Let me communicate with her. And I guarantee you, women love that kind of shit. Women are emotional creatures. Women like to be talked to. You understand what I'm saying? Women like to be related to. Women like to feel like they're on your mind. So given those things, none of the things that I just said included a dinner. So maybe you should start there. And if that works out, then maybe decide to spend your money. But the problem is that
but how do you get someone's attention if they don't want to say, if they're like, oh, let's go out. Where do you want to go? Well, we can go to this place. And then it's like, well, I got to pay.
A lot of men define themselves by what they can bring financially or physically to a situation.
Provide, yes.
But a lot of women aren't necessarily turned on by that off top.
Okay.
It's only a turn on when we married and we got bills. If we're not married and we don't have bills, that's not necessarily a turn on to me right away. And that's just me. Some women, again,
it's not all women. Just I get you.
That piece right there is debatable.
It's subjective.
That piece right there is definitely subjective. But for me, I'm not that.
Okay.
So you gotta look at who you're trying to date, right?
I understand that. Okay. I'll
take the time to get to know somebody before you start spending dinners, because in your mind, I just bought you this dinner, and she's like, thank you.
Yeah, but the thing is, there was no work that you guys are apparently supposed to do in that situation. It's the man needs to go and figure out if you like him.
What if I came to dinner with not my hair combed and these glasses on?
Well, I got to get dressed too.
No, with the way you got to
I got to get dressed the same way. I got to look good too. I got to be presentable too.
And the way that I got to get dressed is different.
Not really.
No, it's different.
I mean, why? Because you guys got to wear makeup or something? I mean, what do you mean? I don't want to go out and look like tacky and bad. Like, I'm trying to look good, smell good, cleaned up, lined up. You know what I mean? It's the same thing.
The way that you got to get dressed and the way that I got to get dressed is different. Just take my word for it.
I'm not saying it. Okay, I will say it's different, but see, I don't hold it as a higher value.
I need Michaela to chime in here, because I typically give Anthony the floor when he's saying things like, let me tell you how the man thinks about this, right? And it's been a couple podcasts where I'd be like, okay, you're right, thank you for that. But then when I introduce an alternative perspective, let me tell you how a woman thinks about this, you don't seem as open. I'm
open to hear. I'm hearing it. But it's
really
still
abrasive.
No, it sounds like what you're saying is
taking my word for it because I'm a woman and you're not.
I'm not saying
just like when you was talking about it, because you're a man and I'm not, right? There are certain things that I'm not going to understand, and I have to accept that.
Right, warranted. But I just feel like your validation is, well, I got to get ready and do all this, but so do I. But also, I got to spend money, and I got to go out and try to get you.
And the ways in which that I accept it, and the ways in which you accept it is stereotypical gender roles, right? Because if you're saying something from a man's perspective, and I give you back the same energy you gave me just now, I'm contentious, I'm brawling, I'm a nagger, right? If I would have met what you said last week with the same energy you're giving me right now, I'm all types of bitches and angry and aggressive.
Okay, but if I were to be docile, then I'm sensitive and weak. So it'd be the same thing.
That's what I'm saying. It's stereotypical gender roles, right?
I understand.
So then the energy you give me back has to be blah 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 blah. Right?
No, not necessarily.
Like it has to be turned up. That's what I'm saying. It's stereotypical gender roles. Okay. So we gotta remove that shit.
So maybe that's more of the issue. Is removing the stereotypical gender roles, but that means that women won't have to will then have to change the approach of stuff, because it won't be having a dinner, won't be just changing your shoes. It'll be a little more concrete then, if that's the case.
No, having a dinner is to sit there and to be like, let me talk to you. Even if you take out having a dinner and saying, let's go to Starbucks, and I can sit and talk to you, that's what we're saying, is like, let me see who he is.
Yes.
So
and that's what women are looking for. We're wanting you to follow up.
Speak up to the mic a little more.
Sorry. We want you to follow up and be like, hey, how's it going? What you doing? Not if I'm like, hey, how's it going? And then there's no response. I'm like, oh, okay. Let me try one more time. Hey, how's it going? And then no response. And it's like,
good.
All right. Oh yeah, one word.
I've been
one-worders. Oh my god, it's like
that's both sides. I feel you.
When you do a one-word text, then that makes it seem all the more like he's
like
not.
It doesn't even give a damn.
And it's like okay, cool. Like that's what it is. But some people have to take time to understand and to grow and to be like, okay, that's what it is. And I ain't tripping. Do you, boo boo? I'm out. I'm ghosting.
Right.
I ain't gonna tell you why I'm out. But the way my feelings were, sometimes people don't have ways. Sometimes people won't say their whole feelings and they'll sugarcoat it, or they'll just step back. And that's how I was at the beginning of our relationship when we first started talking. And then once I ghosted your ass and I seen your ass again, and then we started dating a little bit more, and then you were giving me one word text, and I was like, listen, nigga, like if you gonna holla at me.
She's like,
but the thing is when you communicated,
I had to literally tell you.
But when you communicated that, what happens? You said, hey, I would like you to call me more often in the morning. And then, okay, that was it. But you never communicated the first time. There was no communication like that. But then it was I was the problem.
I had to communicate that to you, but there was other men that weren't doing what you were doing. There were other men that weren't doing.
There's other men that she didn't have to communicate that to, but just knew.
But she didn't like those men like that.
It doesn't matter.
And
she's going to be willing to give them more of her time.
That's true.
But if you don't even like them, why are you giving them time to go take you out then?
Because maybe you could. Because maybe you don't like them now, but the energy that they're showing you is maybe something that you can get used to. I think women are really, really attracted to consistency. Let me speak for me. Chantal is really attracted to consistency.
That's good. Okay? That's good. That's a really good point.
Like Chantal is really, really attracted to consistency. Like you do this shit day 1 that you still doing day 20, day 30, day 5,997. You know what I'm saying?
That's some true shit.
Yeah, but is that supposed to go both ways then? What if you're doing something consistently in the beginning, but then you don't do this anymore?
Absolutely. So
then what do you do when you're being consistent, but the other person not being consistent?
So here's the thing. This is where communication comes in, right? Because consistently doing what, right?
Or the things that you liked in the beginning relationship, I
can consistently be an asshole, right? I don't want.
I mean, say like the good things you had this person,
absolutely,
are consistent. Then all of a sudden these things are changing and they're not happening anymore. And then you communicate that, but then it don't. So then what? Because you're saying that's consistency. So you got to be consistent the whole way that he was from the beginning. But we're obviously going to grow and change, But there's some things that in a relationship you don't want to change. So like if you want to be called and text every day or checked in, then all of a sudden that year 1, then you don't do that anymore. Or the guy's not doing it. Then you're like, well, what's going on?
So then here's the thing. Here's what I mean about consistency, right? Your lives are going to change.
For sure.
Right? Our lives are going to change.
Yeah,
You're not going to be the same person at 22 that you were at 21. At least I would fucking hope not, right?
If you are, I just feel bad. Unless you really knew who you were at that point, maybe.
So then the level of our communication has to change, right? That has to change.
Okay.
Right? Okay. So then we need to be honest about the things that we want from one another and stop expecting the other person to know.
But what if you communicate that and this person says, oh yeah, just wait and see. And then you wait and see.
What are we waiting and seeing? Who was saying that?
I'm just saying in general. Like say like you were looking for.
That's a terrible response to this conversation. Like wait and see what? What the fuck? Okay. I don't understand.
Okay. I'll use. Okay. No, use a good example. This is an example that happens to a lot of people.
Okay.
men want to have sex, right? Women, they do too. Sex happens, then all of a sudden marriage talk, and then it's like, well, maybe you should wait to marriage to find out how the sex life is going to be. And then you get married, and then the sex life is nothing anyways. Trash. So then it's like, well, what were you telling me wait and see for if you knew this?
Question.
If you knew that this was the case.
Were you guys having sex before the marriage?
Yes.
Okay.
That's okay. Yes, that was the case.
Okay, so if you're having sex before the marriage, then you got a pretty idea of what you're getting yourself into after the marriage.
Yeah, but this person was always saying like, well, I'm a Christian, I can't do this. But maybe you were after married, then you see. Then the marriage happens, then it's totally not.
Being a Christian ain't really that big of a deal in this area of your life, because I do believe that the Bible frowns on premarital sex. So being a Christian in this particular area, I understand. Like, maybe we shouldn't use that. Right?
Okay, but I'm just saying, but the real situation of what was said. Okay.
Look, no judgment, no shade. But what I'm saying is that that's not an adequate response.
Okay.
And if if somebody is communicating with you like that, you got to tell them, yo, that's not an adequate response. We fucking right now.
For sure. But then it goes to like, okay, I feel guilty. We should wait. But everything is good. And everything's happened frequently, but then it's like, well, wait till marriage. Then you get married. Then it's like,
so like sex happens after marriage.
Then the flip, and you're like, wait, what the fuck? Wait, hold on. So what would you do in that situation? Because it's like
a conversation.
Because you have the conversation, you have the conversation.
Yes, but in those conversations, we got to unpack some things. We got to get to the root of why you feel a certain way about this specific action. We got to get to the root of why you feel a certain way about this, right? Or why this feels uncomfortable for you, right? Or why this feels uncomfortable for you, right? You have to unpack your bag. I think with sex in general, we forget how much a person really has to trust you to do all of the things that the other person might want to do. I think for me, it's a trust issue. It's not that isn't necessarily all physical. That's a trust thing.
Okay.
That's what I think.
So then after getting married, then there's no trust?
No,
I mean, there's more trust. But then that, so.
I mean, trust fluctuates, right? I could trust you in one area and not trust you in another, or have less trust in you in another.
More.
Right?
That's
like,
true.
I trust you with my heart. I don't trust you to take out the garbage. You know what I'm saying? Like, shit like that is like...
But that was standard from the day one. So there's nothing new. That's not new.
It don't matter if it's new or not. You asked me about trust. I'm telling you, it's possible for me to trust you in one area and not trust you in the next.
I know, but why would that change that dynamic if that dynamic was already there and set in stone before? It wasn't like taking out the trash was something that changed. It was always the same.
It's the same thing with the sex.
Okay.
Why would the sex change? We was having sex before we got married. Now, after we got married, we should be doing the same thing.
Okay. But then you don't. So then why not?
That's the communication piece.
Yeah.
That's the communication piece.
Yeah.
Why not? What is it about this that makes you feel this way?
I get that.
Because I want this. And
this is what I hear a lot in marriages, and I've talked to numerous men. We got couples and stuff, and this is what they're always saying. It's usually generalizing. The women don't want to have sex as often, and the men still want to have sex as much. And then then it's the excuse of I'm too tired, or I have this many worries, or I have these type of things, and then it goes to men like, well, why are you changing?
It's not
so then it's like but I mean that's just one department. It's just that small little physical.
Here's the thing, man. It's not necessarily that they're changing. It's that life has changed.
For sure.
Life has changed significantly from the time where we was fucking carefree to the time where I got all of the issues. We got the bills and the baby and the kids and the blah 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 and the blah 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 and the blah blah blah. We're spending significantly more time together. So the way that I trusted you with my heart, but I didn't trust you to take the trash out. You're underestimating how much that fucking gets on my nerves. And then you're trying to rub me and I'm like, nigga, but did you take out the trash? Like you gotta.
It's like, why is it a big deal? I don't understand. Maybe our priorities is different.
But that's how women think. So that's what I'm saying. So like the way that women have to adjust to be like, okay, what about my husband is the same thing that husbands have to adjust. Okay, what about my wife?
I see.
What does she need, right?
So like if the man wants that, he has to more figure out ways to not conform, but to make it easier for her to feel comfortable.
Because you want her to be comfortable.
Right.
Y'all want to have great sex, right?
Right. Yeah.
If the goal is great sex, then you got to backtrack. All right, what do I need to do, right? To make sure that she in the mood and that it's gonna be bomb. You know what I'm saying? Like,
no, I think it's funny because I hear that a lot. That's just one thing, but then also, I think what I've seen with men and women.
Shout out to the Love Podcast.
The Love Podcast?
Yeah, I listen to it a lot.
Oh, I want to check them out then. Do they talk about relationship stuff?
Yeah, Kev on stage, Miss Kev on stage, super dope.
Oh, Kev he's a comedian guy, right? Oh, yeah.
Him and his wife.
Really?
Him and his wife do this great podcast.
I found him on Facebook. Kev on stage. He's funny. He's kind of
super funny.
He's in one of those AT&T commercials or something. He's a funny guy. Light-skinned black dude.
Kind of light. He's kind of brown. He's
like
brown.
Little lighter than me. But like brown skin, but a little light. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, he's cool.
Yo, great
I didn't know
couple,
they had a podcast.
Great content. They're producing really, really fire content.
Oh, okay, cool.
And
I
for
didn't know
me,
that.
like, it's really important to learn things that I'm doing. Right. So if I'm gonna be on a podcast, it's important for me to see how other people do it, the way other people talk, express themselves, other topics and shit like that. I watch a lot of podcasts. Okay. But this was something that they were just talking about.
Oh, really? Oh, okay. I'm gonna check it out. Cause I'm very interested to see. Because I see like men. What I've noticed is like women want the men to be into the potential that they see that he can be, and they want them to change and elevate. And then usually men want their women to be how they were in the beginning, and they change. So the problem I'm seeing is like men have this, view that how it was in the beginning and how I liked it. It should be it 5 years, 10 years later, and then women are like, well, where you were here and I see you in this position. So then it's like the expectation is part of the problem because you're expecting something to be something that they're not potentially. You want the person to stay the same when they won't. And you want this man to be this potential that he has, but he's not. So are you falling in love with the potential or with the person? Because they may not be there. And that woman may not be what you had in the beginning.
So then knowing what you know, right? Knowing everything that you just said, knowing what you know, that should speak to the importance of really having grace for your partner and your significant other. Like, they're changing, right?
Yeah,
and
for sure.
And women are going to change more because women are having the babies. Women are doing the emotional connections. Women, some of them for the first time are running a household. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, it's different, especially if you fall into stereotypical categories where men get to leave and go to work and a woman is at home trying to keep the shit running. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Right.
Your life, right? If you've always worked, you working for your wife, yes, that's going to change. So the dynamics of your everyday life probably aren't going to change as much if you're a man versus a woman when you get married. Right?
I can see that because like with the having babies and stuff, being in a new role, I can understand that. I can understand
a woman. What a woman's going to do on a regular basis is probably going to change a little bit more than what her husband day is going to look like, and we have to be mindful of that. We have to be mindful of that, right? She's going through the bulk of the changes.
Interesting. I never thought of it like that. I mean, I never thought of it like the change of like the dynamics of everything in a woman's life. Like, I mean, I get it. I mean, you see it, but you don't really. Maybe because you're not in this. Maybe because you're not in it. It's like it just seemed. It looks like from my point of view, it's like okay, I know you want to have babies or whatever that will happen, but nothing's really changed outside of what was normally happening. So then, I get that. I didn't think about that.
Let me speak to the intent behind this, right? Of what I'm saying, because I've never been married, I've never been in a long-term relationship. Poor me. Anyway, what this more so comes from is me understanding that people go through things that they are sometimes, and adult people, right? Humans go through things that they are often unable to express and unable to cope with. Right? Because of change, right? And change is the number one thing that will have somebody feeling some type of way or acting differently, right? The ways in which their world change is going to affect them on a personal level, period, right?
Yeah, because it's uncharted territory. Yeah, I can get that.
Right? And that's just me. It's something that I'm always very, very, very mindful of. I don't know why. It's something that I'm always mindful of. And the ways that people are going to be able to cope with that, right? If you cannot, or if you're having trouble coping with these things as a single person, it's only going to be amplified when you're married.
I see.
You know what I'm saying? And that's another thing. Like when you get into these relationships, these are kind of things that people don't necessarily know about themselves. They don't know how they react in change or stressful situations. They don't know. If you ask somebody right now, okay, well, when you're stressed out, how do you cope? Everybody will be like,
I mean, yeah, I get that. Like, what do you do? Like, sometimes I shut down. Sometimes I get angry. It just depends. It depends on what it is. Yeah,
And these are
sometimes I'll shut down and not want to talk about it. Sometimes I get mad and I take it on other things that don't even deserve it. Sometimes I get real short and irritable.
Sometimes I get quiet and I don't speak to people.
Yeah. Sometimes they're just trying to deal with your emotions and just sit there, you know, you don't want to react and be snappy, so you just don't say nothing.
And early on, these are things that you need to know about another person.
That's true. That's a really good one.
Because it affects the way that you deal with them. It affects the way that they deal with you. It affects the way that they want to have sex with you. They don't. Especially if you be an asshole. Like, I'm coping. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I'm coping. I can't. I'm coping. Ah!
Right? But I think that
that's funny.
But I think that if men got more in tune to their woman in that regard, I think your woman will turn into a whole freak.
Oh.
Because when a woman feels like they're loved, right? Things, all they want to do is be close to you, right? And they know that the way to be close to you, right? Men feel close to women when they're having sex, right?
Yeah.
So women, once they feel like they're being loved correctly and they feel full and powerful to proceed, right? Based on the ways that you're treating them and understanding them and all of those things, all they're going to want to do is be close to you, right?
So maybe I can elaborate on
this. And they know that the way to be close to you is sex, so they're going to turn into a whole freak.
So maybe some of this has to go with the way men are maybe perceiving sex, but then understanding like the complete emotional side behind it for
a woman.
Because I think a men is more compartmentalized. Like feels good. They just take out 5-10 minutes.
You can tell by the way most men have sex that's what it is. Right? Like,
I'm like, get it done, go over.
Get her done. We done. We out. Like.
No, but there's other men that will take their time and stuff, but sometimes it's just what it is. So I get it. I get that. I get that.
It's just.
I get that.
You just got. So
I think. I mean, maybe it's just hard to understand because men are emotional, but not in the way
that
women are.
That's the communication.
And
piece.
So it's hard, and it's honestly hard.
Yeah.
Because it's hard to. Like I was reading this book, like Men Are From Mars, Women From Venus, and it tells about the emotional side of women and how like a lot of times men are here to check a box and to like fix a problem and boom, like, you know, like if you come home and you say, I had a bad day at work and this, you know, so-and-so happened. I'm like, all right, well, just quit. No problem. And then it's like, well, no, because I don't want to quit. You know, it's like, I don't want to quit, but I just tired them telling me this at work. Okay, well then tell your boss this. Well, no, because and it's like, why are you telling me these problems that you don't want to fix? Like, I don't want to hear the problem if there's not a solution. But then the book was saying that women just want to feel understood. It's not that you want to have the problem fixed. It's that you just want to feel understood and heard. Like but then the problem is we're listening, but we're also trying to have you not be stressed about the problem. But then you don't take the advice, and then we're like, what's the point of talking about a problem that you don't want to fix? So the men are thinking like, let's just fix the problem. And the women are like, we just want to talk about the problem. And I think that's a big communication error that happens with men and women, at least for me at least. And I heard a lot of men say, but it's more of like checkbox. You have a problem. Why are we talking about? Let's just fix it. Then it's like, well, I don't want to fix it. Then why are we talking about the problem you don't want to fix?
Right.
So that's how men are thinking. But we have to understand is like women have to get out the problem, get out the frustration sometimes.
So then what you just described is like men and women are speaking two different languages.
Yes, completely.
Literally two different languages.
Completely. And it's hard for us to try to change that again.
Imagine how much more amplified that communication process has to be, right? Because I need clarity, right? So when you're saying, right, like X, Y, and Z, I need to be like, so what you saying is, right? Like,
like, are you saying this or this? Because I'm confused.
Do you mean this or do you mean this? Right? And like, it's like, so for instance, like if a man says, I want to feel close to you, they're talking about physical closeness.
Yes, for sure.
But a woman can say the exact same words and they're talking about two different things. A woman can say, I want to feel close to you. She's not necessarily talking about physical proximity, right? So then in a communication process, it's got to be like, so when you say you want to be close to me, are you talking about you want us to have
do a conversation? You guys want to just relax and hang out with each other? Like, yeah.
Boom, right? So that's what I'm saying, because we're using the same words. I want to feel close to you, right?
But see, the words have two different meanings for both sexes.
Exactly. That's why your communication game got to be heightened. So
that's why you need to use clarifying definitions. That's why I define. So I say, what's the dictionary say? We just define it so we know what it means, so we can say the same thing.
So you got to ask. Okay, so when you say that, are you saying that we should go on long walks? Are you saying that we should go on dates? Are you saying that?
Are you saying you want to have more sex? Are you saying that you want to just hang out and go to the park and sit there and do nothing, just chill?
Are you saying that like you want to have sex Wednesdays, Thursdays, Sundays, and Mondays.
But see, that's really hard. That's really hard to figure out. That's really hard to figure out because there's so many different things that can mean for a woman.
That's why you
compared
gotta
for
ask.
a man, it's like we mean this,
That's
and then it's
why
like,
you
well,
gotta
I want
ask.
today. I want to sit at the
That's
park.
why you
Today I
gotta
want to sit on the
ask.
couch. Today I want to talk. It's like that's.
And yo, fellas, be prepared that when you ask these questions, there's a 50-50 chance that when you say, hey, so when you say this, do you mean this? It's 50-50 whether or not she's going to be like, I don't know. It's 50-50.
Oh my, this is so frustrating. This is so frustrating.
It's 50-50.
It's
She
like, this
may
is
know,
crazy. This
but
sounds
here's the
crazy.
thing,
It sounds crazy.
But just because she doesn't know in that moment doesn't mean she won't come back to you with an answer.
But is the answer going to change by tomorrow? Is the answer going to change tomorrow?
No.
Okay.
No, once she takes the minute to think about it and figure it out. And again, I don't know all women, but I know me. Once I get a minute to think about it and figure out when I say that, then I'll be like, okay, yeah, that's what I mean.
I can understand that. It's just it's like so confusing. When we're talking about this, it just sounds so
this shit don't
like
make
what?
sense.
Like wait, you say you don't know. You say you want to be close, but you don't know how to be close. But you want us to be close, but you can't give me an answer how to be close. And now I'm trying to figure out how to be close. The only way I know how to be close is this. And you're saying that's not it. But you're not giving me an answer. And now I'm going to wait for you to come with an answer that may potentially change within a week.
That's why you got to love the girl.
Fuck, man.
That's why you got
Fuck. I had to cuss. I'm sorry. Fuck.
That's why you got to love.
Sheesh.
That's
That
why-
is, I mean,
that's why you gotta love 'em.
I mean, honestly,
That's why
I'd
you
rather
gotta
deal with,
love
I'll deal with that. It's just, it's still, when you are in that mindset of trying to box it and fix it, that's it's like, that sounds like chaos. It's like a room of, like a tornado. Like, there's no way to put
not,
order
though.
in that.
It's
I mean,
not,
from
though.
the compartmentalized brain, it sounds like
you.
chaos. It's just
I
like,
got you.
you don't know what you want. And then when you tell me what you want, that's going to change next week. And now I got to redo this whole thing again. When is it going to be set? Like, I'll tell you what I want. It's going to be this for pretty much a minute. And so I think men, we have to learn that is just the territory that comes with it.
And women have to. And here's the thing. Just as much as you guys have to learn about us, it's just as much that we have to learn about you. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
it's
I
just
understand
as
that.
much, right?
Because that's not how we communicate either.
Exactly.
You know? I
so
get that.
it's just as much. Like,
I get that.
Like
I
we
get
talked
it.
about it. Like, you know, me telling you to do something, it's not because I want to be your mama. It's just because, like, it's hot. You know what I mean? So, like, I have to
Like,
understand.
just tell me. Yeah,
right?
but-
And as a woman, sometimes I have to understand, like, when he's saying this or when he's frustrated, he's not frustrated at me. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it
He's
may
not-
just be the whole thing, not
just
you,
may be
just
the whole
the thing.
right? Sometimes
Yeah,
men
yeah.
have a tendency when they get angry and frustrated, they yell or do things physically aggressive, right? Women see stuff like that and be like, "Oh hell no!" Right?
It's like, wait, what?
Women
How am I supposed to deal with
women
this?
see that and be like, "No," right? Like we feel like. You know, it makes
That's
us
so-
it makes
I-
us heightened and like.
See, I feel like aggression
But
and
then
physical
we have
is so
to
much better.
But that's what I'm saying. But then we have to understand, okay, we can't take that personally, right? Because imagine like you blow up, and even though you're not blowing up at us, and
I'm blowing up with...
we're there, right? So if I see some shit like that, I'm gonna take it personally. Like, dang, I did. You know what I mean? You internalize that. So then I'm feeling some type of way for the rest of the day, and you're just like, hey, baby, blah, blah, and then you're like. You know what I mean? Like, I can't deal with you on that level anymore because I'm mad at you because of the way that you blew up. When instead,
Even though it has nothing to do with you.
Exactly. When instead, we have to train our
okay.
minds, though. We have to train our minds to be like, that's not about you. You know what I mean? Like, he didn't do that on purpose. That's what I'm saying. It's a learning process.
And that goes to both. Because that's I've seen that. Yeah. Because then you take the person.
Yeah,
it's not even meant to you, and you're like, why am I?
Men deal with stuff and
We just have different ways
like
of
physically and
communicating.
angry and like.
I think that's just I think it's such a better way to do it. I think that honestly is so much better. Because like think about it, the problem, then you let it out on something or wherever it needs to go, and then you're free. That's it.
So then, like,
that's it.
That's what I'm
break
saying.
your own shit.
Because
Not anybody
if
else.
you-
Break your own
but
shit. And
If
you're
you
done.
do that, you could be with the mate who's gonna meet you on that level. Like, why are you talking to me like that? I just did blah 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 blah, blah. And you're like, yo, that wasn't even about you. And then you're like, but I don't care. Don't yell at me. And before you know it, y'all in a whole ass argument conversation because you did some shit that wasn't about her, but it was kind of about her, but not really. It wasn't personal. And she took it personal. So then y'all arguing for 15 days. And y'all mad.
That's a great breakdown. Excuse me. That's a great breakdown.
And then y'all mad because, you know what I'm saying? And women are going to be like, well, why are you talking to me like that? You have to do that. I was just trying to help. Blah, 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 blah. And he was like, that wasn't even about you.
I was just
and
literally
then you
joking
get
around.
mad because it wasn't about her, but she taking you to a level. So now like, I wasn't even talking to you. Blah, 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 right? And
Yeah,
then
because you're like,
before
I don't
you
know why you tripping on me. Why are you mad? Like, this has nothing to do. And
Here
then
we
you,
go.
yeah.
Here we go. We just stacking it.
So then, whose job is it to bring it down? Because what if the guy tries to bring, or if the woman tries to bring it down, but now she got to be too elevated?
It's two-sided, right? The first side,
you got to be both. Like,
yeah, it's two-sided. The first side is your girl has to get to a point where she understands the way that you deal with frustration, right? And not internalize that. Okay, he's just frustrated. This don't have nothing to do with me. I'm gonna go that way, right? Like,
but isn't that wouldn't that come down to communication? Because you can just ask, like, hey, what's wrong? And they don't tell you anything. So sometimes
knowing how somebody deals with frustration is not a communication thing. That's a hands-on life. That's like a tutorial. Like that's like that's a practical exam where you got to touch it and feel it and see it.
Because like, what if one day you're mad, or what if you handle anger the same way between your spouse and with things that have nothing to do with your spouse, and now your spouse doesn't know if this is about you or about somebody else, and then you ask and say they don't give you anything. Then it's like, well, what am I supposed to do? Sit here and wait while you figure it out, and I don't even know if I'm the problem, or just tell me I'm not the problem so I don't got to deal with it?
Here's the thing.
That's my thing.
When to ask, right? Like when to ask. I get over things quickly. I don't hold grudges, right?
Okay.
It's very possible for me to piss somebody off and be like, all right, cool, right? And they're
still fucking annoying.
and be good afterward. Like, all right, cool.
Fucking annoying,
it's possible
bro.
for me to do that, right?
Okay.
But then the other person is still upset.
So
what I want to do.
No, you can just really.
And then the other person is still upset. So then what I want to do is be like, you good? I'm so sorry. Like, I didn't mean it like that. I didn't mean it like that. But they're still fuming, right? So then I have to know that just because that's the way that I deal, that's not the way that they deal. They need time, right? So it's the same thing when you're dealing with your partner, right? Like,
yeah, that's true.
He's frustrated. I can't deal with him like that. Let me go over here. On the male side of it, you have to be like, let me be mindful. Let me make sure that she knows that this isn't about her, or that she shouldn't take this personally. You know what I'm saying? Or that I am just frustrated. You know what I mean?
Right.
I'm just frustrated right now. I didn't mean to come at you like that. Right? And then she could be like,
okay, for sure. You know, it wasn't even towards me. I'm not taking it personal.
It's two-sided. And granted, in the heat of the moment, you're probably not going to be the one to be like, I'm just frustrated. I'm sorry. You still going to be turning up. So then she got to be like,
what's that?
No, she got to be like, no.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
Yeah,
but I get mad, but then I'll usually tone down. I'll tone down.
Yeah,
but no, it depends. If it's something intimate with us, I'm not turning down.
So then,
but if it's something not intimate with me, then I won't turn up.
But in the turn down moment, that's when you go back and ask for clarity, not when somebody's heightened. Right?
I know, I get that.
Like when somebody's heightened, you can't ask them. So why are you mad, nigga? You know, like
I don't know. That's why I'm asking. Clearly, if I knew, I would not.
Wait. So you wait. Don't ask them no shit when they mad, because all that's gonna do is piss. If somebody is angry,
that's true.
If somebody's angry,
why are you mad?
All that's gonna do is piss them off more. Yeah, all that's gonna do is piss them off more. So you just cool. Right? And don't listen to that shit. Walk away. Let them be mad. Blah blah blah. Like you don't. I'm not gonna listen to nobody yelling at me in my face.
I don't think that women realize that when you're mad, it's really hard to ignore that, because it's such a strong presence.
That's what I'm saying.
That's a very strong presence to ignore. So if I get mad, easy ignore me. No problem. No problem. That's it. She gets mad, it won't leave. It won't leave. It won't. As much as I want to sit there and ignore it, then it's more like it's in the room or it's in the house, and just won't. The stank of the anger won't leave.
Not the stank.
The stank of the anger won't leave.
So then, what's your suggestion?
I don't have it. I'm trying to figure out what to do.
Leave the stink alone. Like
I try, but like
at a certain point, it is hard. But at a certain point, you're not gonna be mad about
because you're like, I don't know why you're mad. You're not telling me why you're mad. I don't even know. Whatever. I'm gonna ignore it. But then it's like, damn, it's not comfortable when you're mad, because I don't want to. I gotta fix the problem. I just want to fix the problem. Be done.
It's really hard to stay turned up at a person who is not interested in engaging with you. It's really hard to stay turned up at a person who's not interested. Okay. Yep.
That's me sometimes.
You're absolutely right.
That's me, Michaela. When we're having a debate, literally. Okay. I'm like, no.
You're absolutely
You're not trying to listen. All right, cool. Whatever.
And even I get mad. You're probably not trying to listen, because if they're turned up, they're saying stupid shit anyway. So like, why are you trying to address the stupid shit that they're saying because they're angry?
Thank you.
Warranted.
I just mind.
Like, you're saying stupid shit anyway because you're yelling at me. And even if you weren't saying stupid shit, the best way to communicate the not stupid shit that you're saying to me is not to yell at me. That goes both ways. I don't learn when niggas are yelling at me. Do you learn when niggas are yelling at you?
No, I immediately shut up.
So then the minute that somebody's yelling, I'm not trying to learn. I'm just like, okay, yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So no.
You're absolutely right. Yeah.
I'm not trying to be right. I'm trying to have you understand what I mean, not be right.
All the way. Okay. Mm-hmm.
Like, do you understand what I'm saying?
Okay. Okay.
See how much more easy that is for you guys to do? I don't think it's necessarily that easy.
Okay.
Because if we try to ignore you, that does not go that well.
You're absolutely right.
What you're saying to do, what you guys do, will never work if a man does it.
Okay.
If you say, okay, I'm like, okay. Then it gets worse. It doesn't get better. It doesn't get like, hey, let's just put this off. It's like,
you're absolutely right.
You know?
The goal should be to not communicate with a person when they're in a heightened state. That should be the goal. We should stop trying to communicate with people when they're yelling. We just shouldn't do it.
Maybe that's a lesson we all need to learn. Well,
because
at least I do.
Getting mad, you get mad. Like, we shouldn't do it. I'm not getting my point across. You're not getting your point across. We just yelling at each other. I don't give a shit about what you saying. You don't give a shit about what I'm saying. But what I do know is that I'm gonna get this point across, and it don't matter because
you're just trying to both trying to get
nobody's fucking listening.
Yeah.
Right. So again, you bring it. They hear. Okay. Yeah. I think. Sure. And
so are you good at doing that?
I'll shut down in a minute.
Are you good at doing that?
I will shut
even
down
in an emotional state.
I will shut down in a minute. I will shut down in a minute. And the issue that my significant other is going to have is that when it's time.
You already see that.
The issue that my significant other is going to have.
Like before, when this happens,
the issue that my husband is going to have is trying to get me to care again when the moment is done. Because I will shut. Because when I shut,
you're really going to shut all the way down.
All the way down. I'm a power down to 0.
Wow.
That's going to be the kind of woman.
I wonder how women would take that in there, and I wonder how that would actually go
for a man.
Yeah, for a man to do that. I wonder what would happen.
I think women have more patience.
I've seen it happen, but you know, when a man really just doesn't care at all, you see like it don't care at all. But that's way more of an asshole move. It just seems more like God, the guy really doesn't give a fuck about you. It doesn't feel that way as much when a woman, you know.
It's deep.
Yeah. So.
Yo, we've been talking for a minute. This is gonna have
almost
to be
an hour
parts.
and 21 minutes.
This is gonna have to be a parter.
No, it's a whole thing, baby. This is all it. All in.
Two-parter. No, yeah, it should be cut in half, like a 2-parter.
We'll see. We'll see in post.
All right, y'all. Thank you for joining us. This has been another
unless we can
episode.
We can do that
of the Unpack Your Bag podcast. While he ponders that thought, I'm gonna send you home with this. Like, comment.
I thought you were gonna give me something profound. Like, I'm gonna send you home with this. You know, life gives you lemons.
Comment,
you know, I thought it was something good. Like
next time, like I'll have like a smooth poem or something to send y'all out with. But today, just like, comment, and subscribe.
Oh, I want you to do something on the next podcast. Can you say a poem?
Sure.
I want you to actually do a real, like a full on, like a real. Give us a preview for next time. Give us a little. You got something off the top?
No feet.
Really?
Handicap is still eating it. Y'all saw that, Kevin Hart?
Oh my gosh, it's so stupid. I did.
The roof of my mouth is hot. Hot pockets, nigga.
Really? You gonna get that one? Really?
That's what I got for y'all. That's what I got for y'all.
That was good though. Thank you so much.
Handicap, but still eat meat.
You're so stupid. Kevin Hart is hilarious. I will say Kevin Hart, comedic genius.
Oh man, that shit was funny.
But thank you guys for tuning in. Got a little emotional today. I got a little hot. You know, had to bring it down. I'm a human, just like everybody else. Yeah. Until next time.
Until next time.
All right. And thank you guys. And go ahead and cuss me out.
Bitch.
How you feeling? How you living? Yeah, how you feeling? How you chilling? Well, alright, from the floor to the ceiling, everyone in the building, if you feeling alright. Well, alright, how you loving? How you eating? Yeah, how you moving? How you breathing? Well, alright, from the floor to the ceiling, everyone in the building, if you feeling alright.